super chat. Let's see where is our okay, let's see. I'll save the live chat. I'm not sure if this works. I'll see. All right, so I got the super chat turned on. I'm not sure what the difference is between the all messages, remember, and super. Some messages, this is potential spam may not be visible. All right, we'll go ahead and just turn it on live and go from there. All right. 6 Extinction event again. Boom. There you go. Okay, so again, same thing. 3 years plus into an event, and the world's hadn't figured it out. What a blessing that would be for those that could get ahead of those that didn't, so they could. I'm sure things would skyrocket in prices and things like that if people actually knew what was really happening. Right? They would all run to the stores and panic. Well, maybe that's why they're not telling anybody. It would incite a lot of panic. So, will you make it? Will you make it? Will you be one of the maybe, I don't know what the numbers are, right? But will you be one of the makes it through the next extinction event that we're currently in? See, you already made it this far in. Check it out. You already made it 3+ years into the 6th extinction event. You made it further than you thought you would, huh? You didn't even know what was happening. How amazing is that? See? Everything that's still here on this earth survived through the last 5 extinction events. So, extinctions are not complete die-offs. That's not how an extinction event works. But many species die down. Some more in numbers, some a lot more in numbers. But generally, anything that's here didn't die off completely. So if we still have butterflies, and I saw a bee today. That was pretty awesome. I saw a honeybee. And heck yeah, first honeybee. We haven't been as many honeybees. I remember when I grew up, there was lots of bees, always a lot more insects. Pretty amazing. God's creatures. I was thinking about that, about trying to put as much honey away as you possibly could, because honey is a very valuable asset to have. It really never, I mean, it lasts a long time. It lasts a long time, almost infinitely. Not really, but I mean, if it crystallizes and gets hard, does not soft, you can warm it back up. But an amazing, that reminded me today of how when I was younger, how there used to be so many more bees and so many more insects and so many more birds too. A lot more birds, I remember. So, and I live where there's lots of birds now. Don't get me wrong. I live in a place where there's a lot of birds, but I know these are predator birds where I live. Hawks and falcons and eagles and that type of predator birds. But that was pretty cool. I haven't seen a whole lot of honeybees in this last 4 or 5 years. So we're already into the extinction event again. Things don't die off completely. There are still How we doing today? Thanks for coming in. Just talking about this extinction event that we've all made it. We've all made it this far. We've all made it this far into the extinction event. So check it out. A lot further. Most people didn't even know they can make it this far, but things will progress. Things will continue to deteriorate. The weather will not get better. Our atmosphere is continuing to, the magnetic field is weakening. The field strength has now been reduced by 40%. And last year we got to experience something this Earth has never experienced before. So 5 low latitude auroral events, high proton level events is normally what it takes to make a low latitude event. And we didn't even have high proton event. High proton level event. We had M class flares. So 5 shattered the record of 2 in 12 years. And we had 5 in 1 year without the X class flare. So pretty amazing time. People to get to see red and pink auroras in the southern portion, more of the lower latitudes of our Earth is that's a very rare, very, very, very rare event, and to have it 5 times happen in 1 year is a earth-shattering record. So here we are, and things are going to progressively intensify, and the atmosphere, and we're going to see a higher, generally we go into these type events, we've seen the solar cycles dip off these last 3 solar cycles. We're in solar cycle 25 right now, and the last 3, 24, 23, and 22, the sun's energy stepped down. So that means our atmosphere is shrinking, and that sun isn't as bright yellow as it was, because that scrubbing off of that magnetic protection, that field strength that I told you recently, I've been seeing, 25, maybe a little bit more, but witnessing those 5 low latitude auroral events. The United States Air Force came out and said in the last 400 years that our magnetosphere is weakened by 40%. So I'm pretty sure we're in solar cycle 22, actually. Yeah, I don't think you know what you're talking about there at all, Brick. We're in solar cycle 25 there, buddy. You're 22 was their 11.9 year solar cycles. We're in 5, 25, 24, 23, 20. So how many years ago was that? Yeah, you're stuck back there in the 80s, interesting. Actually, I don't think you know at all anything, obviously, apparently. Solar cycle 22. This guy's back here in solar cycle 22, and we're in 25, guys, and it takes an 11.9 years, 12 years for each solar cycle. You have a solar max that goes up for 5.9 years, and then a solar minimum. So he's somewhere back there. That's pretty crazy. Oh, wow. Well, I've seen at least 47 carrying events, so I think I know what I'm talking about. I've seen at least 47 candidates, and there was only one in 1859. Goodbye, Rick. You're a blasphemous. You do the works of your father. Get behind me, Satan. We've had one Carrington event that was to happen in 1859, guys. That was an event called the Carrington event. It's when it took our solar grid down at the time. That was not our solar grid, our grid, which was telegraph, the modern day grid as we knew it back then. So, yeah, I'm Donald Trump's uncle. I don't. Uncle John, huh? No, that's my middle name is John. You got me. My middle name's John, but I'm not Mr. Millimeter Bowl, Mr. Millimeter Wave. I might know about that techie tech and all that eyes to the skies, guys, with the Starlink and all the I got all the secrets, but No, I'm not on that side. I don't worship the Apollyon sun god, the bringer of the disease and the cure of the disease in warp speed. This is not a space farce. No Operation Gene Therapy, roll up your sleever, mRNA record earnings at Pfizer for me. I don't go with the Koch brothers. I'm not into the masquerade or the satanic ritual. I've never put on a face diaper, so nope, can't corkscrew and spin me there, buddy. Oh, wow. You guys are sickening. All you do is say the same thing. You say the same things. You guys all been imply the same. Too much. No homosexuality talk. Get up. Get behind me, Satan. All right. Don't talk about homosexuality. You'll be taken out of the chat. We're not in. This is not a talk about people's sexual preference. Please, let's keep that out of here. Thank you. But anyways, guys, amazing times. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you coming in. Another Predestined for Light chat about this 6 extinction event that we're already in. We're already in the new age, and who's going to make it through this new age that we're in, of Aquarius. The age of the deception is behind us, but not for most. Most people are very deceived, and very few oligos, a puny number of people even on this earth right now know that we've already entered into this age of woe, and this age of the apocalypse. So I've already seen the rider on the red or the white horse. And so the red horse is going to bring death, and men will kill men. And that's part of this second rider. And so how far off will that be? How far are we off from seeing that rider on the red horse? When maybe man's got too much convenience and been on the hub too much and a little too hopped up on the Monster Energy drinks, the va va va, the va va va, the coming unleashed the beast. It's just it's advanced, not artificial. It's artificial. He said, I also did foreknow who I did predestine to conform to my image. The image of Christ Jesus, Shiloh, the only begotten Son of the Lamb, is declared by the heavens and by David, who was of Bethlehem. He, too, Christ Jesus, born of Bethlehem, was declared in the heavens by the age, in the passing of an age. So we don't care. Cody, thanks. Bye-bye. We don't care. I'll do my own moderating here. Get behind me, Satan. You're the adversary. So then I saw when the lamb broke seals in the heart of the poor. Hallelujah. There we go. Oh, there we go. Somebody's paying attention. They will. Hey, don't worry about it, brothers, sisters. Those are the ones, again, that if they're a bot or just, these are the ones that are going to be hopped up on the sugars and never gone a day without. They've never fasted in their lives. They don't talk to God. They don't. They're vessels of wrath fitted for destruction from the foundation of the world. So, yes, the adversary. It's too bad you don't know what that means. You don't know what that means. Yeah, I wish you did, but I already said it. Get behind me. Get behind me, bot. Oh, I got to do it. I love it. You see it, guys? They can't stop doing it. In the end of days, no, Jesus doesn't love him. Jesus doesn't love vessels of wrath fitted for destruction. Wink, he throws them in the place of no knowledge, the abyss. He only loves his bride. We don't do the cotton candy gummy bear. We were warned about that other Jesus by the Apostle Paul. Okay. And he himself, don't go into the desert. They'll say, I'm not there. Don't go into the secret chamber. Many, Christ will come. And Jesus will come in my name, Jesus Christ. They will say they are Christ, and they will be deceived. So don't pray for people. God has already chosen who he chose from the foundation of the world. God doesn't love everybody. God's putting most people in hell. So please don't pray or, I mean, whatever. Do whatever. How about God's just will? How about we want God's will for Blink or Winks or whatever he was? I'll just put him up against the wall, though, and tell him to get behind me. Because he ain't trying to do righteous things right now. You're in apostasy. And I only have to try 2 times with you, and then I'll rebuke you. So God doesn't make us sit there and try to keep banging your head against the wall, brothers, sisters. A couple times, and that's it. Rebuke them. Love your agape, your neighbor. Love your enemy like you love yourself. Love your enemy like love your neighbor like you love yourself. That is the word agape. Okay, so don't worry about people who don't want. You can't change a goat into a sheep. That's all right, but ignorance. They go to the place of no knowledge. That is the abyss. That is what the word hell is. Eternal damnation, lake of fire. Busos, bathos is the word knowledge. 2 words in the Greek, abyss. The angel of the abyss in Revelation 9:11. The Antichrist is locked up in the abyss, hell, right? So we don't play religion. I don't do none of that. God, he does not dwell in houses made by hands. He dwells where there are 2 or 3 gathered in my name. He says, my name is Agape, name is Shem, name is authorities. Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Shem meant law, authority, agape. Yep, agape. 2 John 6, those that will walk and follow in my commandments, the law, commander. Maybe because I'm a veteran and a prior tyrant, thug, police officer, that I might understand some of these things, that these are commandments. And yes, I'm supposed to have a relationship, not a religion. So he said, where there are 2 or 3 gathered in my name, or 19, there I will be in their midst. So, yeah, don't do religion. It's I have a relationship. He said, who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves. Take up your cross. Take your cross. And daily, who shall ever be my disciple? Take up your cross. Are you being condemned? He was condemned for not doing the things of this world. Are you doing the things of this world? He said, be in the world, but not of it. So still have to be, your body is a temple. Do not go after the things of this world. He said, do not look back, right? Remember Lot's wife? So be in it, but be not of it, brothers, sisters. There's always going to be the adversary. He said, do not worry about pulling up that chaff. The enemy, when you were sleeping, he came and sowed seeds amongst you, right? We got to let it grow up here, brothers, sisters. Got to let it grow up behind. Yep. Got to let it grow up right there in front of all around us. It's going to be there. We got to wait till he comes back. Shiloh, the scepter shall not depart from Shiloh, the lion from the tribe of Judah, the lion king, Leo, the lion. That's right. The king, the scepter shall not depart from Judah until Shiloh returns. We got to let them grow up together, brothers, sisters. This just has to be that way. What an amazing time. We're close, brothers, sisters, maybe years away from that time. We got some birthing pains to go through, sorrows, pestilence, wars, famine, rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, right? So that's not, the end is not here, correct? We're not here yet. He said we're not there, so we have pains more. We were going to go through tougher times. So put on that armor of God. Make sure your lamp, your eye is the lamp of the body, correct? So make sure that vessel is filled with light. Make sure that vessel is filled with light, because you can't have both dark and light in that vessel. If the eye is filled with darkness, then the whole body, the whole vessel is filled with darkness, the lamp, correct? So make sure you're putting up that extra oil. This ain't religion. These are commandments. Enter through the narrow gate, he commands you, the straight gate. All my junk. As days in the hourglass, so are they. Look at that. Like, yep, There's every tick tock, tick tock. Life is but a stream of dust in the wind, but a vessel of sand in an hourglass. And so are the days of our lives. Silliness. I got all kinds of crap here. Look at this. This is my Believe Jesus. See, I bought this is my one-stop shop. I Believe Jesus right here. I got my Jesus. I bought this. Hold on, 20 years ago. See, hold on. It's dusty. I bought that 20 years ago. See, I believe. I believe in Jesus. That's my little prop for my Believe Jesus. Oh, silliness. Sorry, we're in the cabin. We're just hanging out. We're in the cabin out here. The old rusty cowboy cabin here out in the high desert, Oregon out back. Hanging out with the puppies. Hanging out with the puppies with the dad. We always got visitors. You can't see them, but they're always visiting with the dad. They'll steal the stream if I let them. So we can't let them steal the stream. No, you can't steal the live stream. I know you want to be on the live stream. You can't be on the live stream. Hey, look at that. What a good boy him is. What a good boy him's dad's boy. Oh, parts that I love. Him loves his dad. Yeah, darn. You gotta be down by the dad. So, all right. How about that? That right there is good stuff, huh? Okay, so would you be ashamed? Let's stick to it. Watch it, kiddo. So, bunch of knickknacks on the shelf. Just a bunch of junk, bunch of stuff collecting dust. It's just my prop back there. I built a shelf into the wall. I'm an off-gridder. I don't play this funky music. You can't corkscrew and spin me. I don't live a lie. I live natural law. You live by the sword, you die by that sword. So ain't nobody got corkscrew and spin me and tell me that it's the aletheia. He said, I am the aletheia. I am the hados and I am the horizo. So the way, the truth, and the light. Like sands through the hourglass. So beautiful time, guys. What an amazing day that we're here. Again, check it out. We are 3+ years into this Extinction event, and we're all still here. And well, nah. I think some people wore that face diaper and they took that greatest space farce, Jabadooski, warp speed, Operation Gene Therapy, get your protein, spike mimicker, sticker. Are you playing the Pokemon? Did you do the masquerade? Yeah, well, there seems to be a lot of people that aren't here anymore. Yeah, the reset, huh? Year zero. I tried to tell everybody in 2010 about the year zero, 2020. Nobody listened to me, especially, 2019, 20, 21. Yep, it's all, yep. That is the parable, the fig tree sign, as I call it. Yeah, I know you missed that sweet stimulus, don't you? Through a $1,200 check. He gave his buddies, $5.7 trillion, and the world got a $1,200 stimulus check. But anyways, the parable of the fig tree, year zero. He gives us 4 years to produce fruit, and if not, cut it off, cut it down. So from year zero. So here we are. Remember, we don't. The heavens declared that's year zero. That was the reset. That took us from the age of deception into the age of, whoa. Soon, the rider on the red horse. We saw the rider in the White House, right? The one who brought us Corona and the spike protein mimicker. I mean, the rider on the white horse with the crown and the bow. No, America's not going to be saved. It's marked for destruction. They're even telling you it's been 7 years. You've had since year zero. You've had for your 4 years. 2019, year zero, 2020, 2021, 2, 3, and 4. You've already had your chance to bear fruit. The fig tree parable, I've told you. Yes, that's right. Oh, year zero was the start of the new age back here. That's right. Whoa. Welcome to the new age. There are the destinations marked. I am the Alpha and the Omega. The Omega event. X marks the spot. X is the 24th letter of the English alphabet. Alpha, Aleph symbol negates alpha, the abyss. A, no, knowledge, bustos, batos, no knowledge, the place of no knowledge, the place of no mas. Soon the beast will be unleashed. The AI Christ system, the Va X. It's already been marked, man. It's already been marked. The heavens declare the age, the coming of the King. Back here, the celestial marker that was left us from the birth of the fire to water. I am. He said, I am the Aleph. The Aleph. I am the Aleph, beginning and the Alpha and the Omega. 24. Mark for judgment. The diagonal. The vertical. And I believe the horizo, because they're on to me. The horizo. He said, I am the Aleph. The Aletheia. I am the Aletheia. The truth. The Alpha and the Omega. I am the Hados. I am the way. The Aletheia and the horizo. The way, the truth, and the light. Before Abraham was, I am. Be comforted. I am. Careful of these daimonions, those distributors of fortunes, brothers and sisters. I know I was told to be wise and look up. Psalms 19. The heavens declare the handiwork. The firmament. Horizo, the birth. Through the Pisces. Through the Vesica Pisces. It's been there all along. Visa, MasterCard. Under Armour. Spiritual, inwardly spiritual Jews. It's all spiritual, brothers, sisters. All spiritual. Don't fall for shadows on the ground. He told you to look up. But listen, he sent people that have been paying attention. I now have given you the second sign of Jonah. Not just one on this channel and to the world I've declared, but two signs, the sign of Jonah, the sign of Nineveh, as he was spewed out onto the belly of the land. Well, let's go back in time to Salem, Oregon. This is where I'm at, brothers and sisters, right here. Salem, Jerusalem, Oregon, and it traversed through 7 Salems and ended out on the 33rd parallel. Christ was 33 when he paid that bride price. The sun and the moon conjuncted, but we didn't see a vertical eclipse. We saw the great red dragon eclipse as it went through vertically across the sun. correct? Absolutely. I wouldn't have marked my body with that great red dragon eclipse, the diagonal of 2017. I'm the only man, I believe, on the earth that has that great red dragon eclipse, because I knew something was wrong back here when I saw the sun and the moon that was supposed to conjunct and eclipse, and yet the sun went the wrong way across the United States, leaving a shadow across 7 Salems. I don't know, whatever. So 7, just listen up, 7 Salems crossing, making this first crossing, heading in the wrong direction and going diagonally across instead of horizontal, horizo. October 14th, 2023. I blow the horn and sound of the vertical eclipse, the turn up, the turn down, the black hole sun. And we saw a vertical eclipse, and the sun went the wrong way again. From west, wait a minute, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. How is that possible? Once, twice, forming the first Va. X marks the spot. The signaling of the first count 1, 2017, 7 into the present here, weeks away from the third Va, marking through 7 Palestines and 4 Ninevehs. The sign of Jonah. He was spewed out onto the belly of the land and was to warn of the 40 days of the coming of the destruction of Nineveh. Jonah, after 3 days in the belly of the whale, that evil and adulterous generation will ask for a sign, and the only sign they'll be given is the sign of Jonah, spewed out onto the land, and warn of the destruction of what was to come of Nineveh. Sun is going to go the wrong way again, brothers and sisters. I don't know how they're doing this, but these are not real eclipses. That's not an eclipse. I've got multiple of them tattooed on my body that I haven't shown you, but I do have others eclipses on my body. That was the Star of Bethlehem. That was an eclipse of the King Star and the Morning Star. A star apart, a star forming a whole or a marriage, a union. So, X is Va. I'm not going to sit down. Can't show you this if you don't like it. Just listen. Go back and I've left this image over and over.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a horizontal eclipse again, but they're going to go through 7 Palestines and 4 Ninevehs, and this evil and adulterous generation was asked for a sign, and the only sign they would be given is the sign of Nineveh. Now, it took 7 years, starting from 2017 till 24, which is the 24th letter of the alphabet in English. X equals 24. The beginning, I am the Alpha, the Ox, the Aleph, the Ox, the leader, the Ox, the Aleph symbol, the beginning and the end, the X and the O, the Alpha and the Omega. They know this, brothers and sisters. They're doing this. I don't know how they're doing this because I have been watching this sun every day for 30 years. And I've studied this. And I've marked my body from this point on time. I've already had this marker, the great red dragon eclipse on my body. I don't know of another man on this earth that has it. There's no such thing as a diagonal eclipse. This birthed the king through the Pisces, through the matrix, which burst us from fire to water, from the water to the age of Aquarius, the age of revelation, when we saw this conjunction back here, brothers and sisters. This is all being marked. Now they are foreshadowing, leaving shadows on the ground, and you were told to look up. If you were looking up, you should understand this is not an eclipse. Neither is this. I believe that, again, they're on to me, and they're going to go ahead and vertically bring this. I don't know how they do it, but they will definitely bring this from the west to the east again. They will mark the 7 Palestines and the 4 Ninevehs, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes, they will. And they will also tell their lies. They say you will be able to see in the night sky that Diablo, that Draco, that devil comet, Hierophant, the devil comet, I Pet Goat 1 and 2, the marriage of the eclipse. It's been in their logos all along. There it is. The Diablo, the distributor of lies. This is not real, brothers and sisters. 7 years it took. To be sevened is to be completed. To be completed. To be sevened. The Aleph symbol. Aleph marks the alpha, which negates. It cancels. It cancels what follows in the Greek, the alpha and the omega. It's a cancellation. 7 years to draw the Aleph symbol. X, Elon Musk, something stinky, marks the spot. Seven years to mark the Aleph symbol with a shadow on the ground, foreshadowing the coming of the destruction. 40 days. The evil and adulterous generation will ask for a sign. The only sign that will be given is the sign of Jonah. 3 days in the belly of the whale, spewed out onto the land, and to give the sign of the warning of the destruction of the coming of the 40 days of the 44 Ninevehs. In gematria, the 0 has no value. So be wise, because if you paid attention to this passing of this age back here, like the wise men, looking up at the heavens and paying attention to these celestial markers in the stars and in the sun and in the moon, you would remember that they were watching Jupiter And when it conjuncted with the morning star, we left the age of Aries and came into the age of Pisces. MasterCard, CBS, Third Eye. I could litter this board with these images. It's been here your whole life. They shove it in front of you everywhere, but I only have so much room on this board, brothers and sisters. Vesica, Pisces, the birth of a king. We've already seen the passing of this age back here, brothers and sisters. This Pisces, when we seen Saturn conjunct Jupiter on 12/21 of 2020, marking year zero, 2020, the start of the king virus, the crown virus. They declared the coming of the king. They know. They're wise as serpents and gentle as a dove. But remember the sign that I'm giving you now. The parable of the fig tree. Remember, you heard it here. Year zero. You have 4 years to prove fruit, or he will cut it down. Are you producing fruit, brothers and sisters? This year zero sign is not necessarily related to this, but oh yes, it is. 4 years to prove. I hope you're producing fruit. So again, we've already left this age of deception back here when we saw this conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. Morning star, king star, time marker, Jupiter. King star, time marker, marking time, whoa, into the new age, Aquarius. Thanks for letting me show that to you guys. This is my life. This is what I've been doing for, obviously, since this eclipse. My life has been completely turned upside down. I marked my body with this when that happened, and knew that I would not see the sun go the wrong way. That's not, I studied all these mechanics, brothers and sisters, of this sun, and this is not how our sun functions. It's not how the birth of the king. The Pisces, the Vesica Pisces, is how Christ was born into the king. The heavens declare his handiwork, is what he tells us, firmament in the book of Psalms 19. So I believe if we are wise, we should be looking up and realizing that they're playing some kind of hocus pocus on us. That's not, the sun doesn't go the wrong way. They're foreshadowing, brothers and sisters, foreshadowing of what is to come. I believe in April 8th. I got to finish this. The Va will complete the unleashing of the monster or the beast. X Va, coming soon, the destruction of this system, the petrodollar, and soon coming the unleashing of the Antichrist AI system, digital Va. Do you understand what they're signaling? They've been putting this on this energy drink can. That is April 8th. Va. They've been playing with us for a long time, brothers and sisters. Unleash the beast. The AI Antichrist. The digital AI Antichrist. That is what I see coming. I'm not a prophet, but I know their signs. I've been watching these diablos, these devils, these distributors of fortune for decades now, and I fight with them, and I can speak their languages. They put these things out, brothers and sisters. That's what they're doing with this. They're foreshadowing. The devil knows he has a short time, and he has to make all the jots and tittles come to pass that are said in that book. He knows the word of God better than 99.9% of Christians. Baptists, priests, pastors, chaplains, deacons, reverends. He's wise as a serpent, as he tells you to be wise. He tells you to look up. Your redemption draweth nigh, the one who paid that bride price in the flesh, so that you do not have to pay in flesh, but in spirit. Correct? So I hope I thank you for letting me show you that. That is really my life's work. I've been studying this. I don't know anybody that's putting this information out, and I give all glory to the Father. It's not me doing this. This is my work and what he has me doing. Not here for any other reason. We're not supposed to be looking at shadows on the ground. We're supposed to be looking up, in the air. And if we were realizing that, we'd see that this is not real. Hocus pocus. I know when I see visual voodoo and they're telling lies to your vision, just like you watched up growing a tell-lie vision, being programmed and channeled and schooled with the masses, correct? So you'd believe this lie that they're making a big deal of this, a state of emergency. They did the same thing in Oregon, brothers and sisters. The same thing in Oregon they did in my state that I live. They had rooms out here and they rented them out, $50, $75. This whole, false eclipse happened. They rebooked all these people's rooms and made them like $250, $300, inflated the price, money changers, on them, and called a state of emergency. Kate Brown was out here, got it all involved, and now they're doing it in Texas, trying to make it like it's a real thing. It's visual voodoo, brothers and sisters. And he told you to look up. If you were looking up, you'd realize, instead of looking on the ground at shadows on the ground, you'd realize this isn't real. I didn't mark my body with these markers. I'm getting hot, guys. Got my wood stove going here. Let me take this. Because I did this for him. This is all him. This is all God. This isn't me doing this. This is all him. All glory to God. It's him doing this. It's him doing this. So he makes me all this, all these markers, all these things, so I can show people and explain to people what these things are, and the eclipse, the marriage, the birth, the union between two celestial bodies. I told you I have more eclipses on me. I have blood moons and all this. But anyways, brothers, sisters, these, I have to mark my body as these are celestial markers. I know it's not what goes in a man. It's not what goes in a man or comes out of a man or woman. It's what comes out of them. It's what comes out of a woman or out of a man that defiles them. So I have a lot of people who have gotten on me about, they think they're going to, and fine, judge me with righteous judgment. I tell everybody, judge me. Go ahead. I'm not one of these lollipop Christians. We're supposed to judge a brother and sister with the word of God. Take them back to the word. Love your neighbor like you love your enemy. Agape, 2 John and 6. Push the word on them. That's what we do. Same way you do yourself. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. So there's no bias, We have to do what our commander, veteran, and I'm a prior police officer tyrant and a prior veteran military police officer tyrant, that I know these things more. These are laws, commandments, laws. So anyways, ordinances. Nope, that's not a law. I don't go on dates with men. I don't follow mandates or codes. Those are meant for the corporation, and I'm not a corporation. I'm a man from the sin, corrupt dust came from it, made of it, and will go back to that land of the man of the land and soil, right? Because I'll go back to that soil, that corrupt dust where I came from, and everything that I've ever owned and everything I've ever had in my hands, or it will all go back to the dust. That's right. So I don't follow codes, and I don't go on dates with men and follow mandates and do ordinances or none of that. I follow natural law, the law that the federal government is there to uphold. That is what they're put there in place to uphold your inalienable, God-given rights. I gotta open the front door, guys. Got it cooking in here. My dog's panting. Well, get down and wait from in front of the stove, doggy. Get away from the stove. Come here, Tango. You don't have to go outside, but get down. Come here. Tango, come. You're a big black dog. Lay down right there. You're a big black dog laying right in front of the stove. Sorry, we got a big black puppy laying right in front of the stove. But anyways, thank you, brothers and sisters. I hope you understand how blessing of a time it is to. Do you realize that we saw that conjunction, that marriage that the wise men were watching? Remember back at that time, they're watching and pointing up towards that celestial marker, Jupiter, when it conjuncted, like I showed you, leaving into the age of a star upon a star, birthing the king. We saw that again in 2015. Whoa. Over 2,600 years plus since it's been seen, and we were a witness to that. Oh, thank you, Father. Whoa. This was your marker that birthed you in the heavens between 2 and 3 BC, that the wise men, the Magi, not the 3 wise men, but they were Magi. They gave 3 gifts. But they were wise, and they knew to watch this gas giant, which is the king. And it declares in the heaven is the king because it's out the longest and it's the brightest. It is Jupiter, the lion king. Get it? Disney mocks him. Disney, such blasphemy. But anyways, yes, remember the lion king, the lion from the tribe of Judah, from the house of David. He sprang out of Judah. He was the Lamb of God, the lion from the tribe of Judah, that the scepter sign declared that he was the head of the church, the high priest. Hallelujah. Correct. The hallelujah, the law. He was the scepter, the high priest, as Aaron and the Levites were the high priest, the Jews. Remember, the scepter shall not depart from Judah until Shiloh, the king, the lion king, the one who sprang out of Judah from the house of David. Hello. Religion has perverted all this, brothers and sisters. That's like begottens and like, remember I told you, like laws to me. 613 statutes and commandments, the Jewish law, the Torah, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. He fulfilled the law, brothers and sisters. He didn't abolish the law. He came back to make a hallelujah, a new law, living will. It was a will. Somebody's going to have to die for that will to be valid, and he paid that bride price. The sacrificial lamb, unblemished as he promised, as he said, as he fulfilled his promise to be the only begotten son of the lamb, as he said he would be unblemished. And when they came to sacrifice him, he was already past. Hallelujah. Boom! It's written. It had been fulfilled. The law, the flesh, blotted out. The tables of stone, written. Moses was given the law. The 10 commandments were pounded on stone, written. And now, pounded, blotted out. The blotting out of the handwriting of ordinances on tables of stone is now sprinkled with that blood of the Lamb. Hallelujah, that blood of the Lamb, that bride price that he paid in the flesh for his bride, the ones he will call out at that wedding feast of the lambs, and fulfilled the law and made a new law for his bride. Those that would walk, agape, those that would love him. 2 John and 6 are all flesh, brothers and sisters. Oh, don't forget the good news of the coming of the King. He came back to save all flesh. Yes, God doesn't love everybody. He's throwing most people to hell. But he did come back to save all flesh this time. Hallelujah. Yes, narrow is the path, straight is the gate that Holy Ghost find, and wide and broad, big city lights. Yep, the broad path is the wide path that most enter by. Hell is where that leads to, the wide gate. So he tells us for his bride, Holy Ghost, those will be the ones that he chose from the foundation of the world. And those that love him, 2 John and 6, his commandments, his law. Oh, wait, he fulfilled law. It's a testament of your will. And yes, a new living testament, lost and forgotten, brothers and sisters. He said, let vengeance be mine, saith the Lord. Let vengeance be mine. You cannot. Yes, it's not an eye for an eye. Don't fall for that, brothers, sisters. This is all blotted out in the handwriting of ordinances. Once written on tables of stone is now sprinkled with that bride price, right? Fleshy tables of our hearts now, spiritual. They don't teach this, brothers, sisters. This is not taught in churches and houses made by hands. That's why he told us that the Most High does not dwell in temples or houses made by hands, correct? Uh-oh. I hear the owls out there. I got kitties out there. Hold on one second, guys. Kitties! I think the owls get more of the cats out here than anything. We have a lot of predator birds out here. Tons of. Remember where he puts the birds for that day, doesn't he? Oh, those birds will. He knows what he's doing. Oh, those birds. Everything is. Oh, those birds. Never forget why he puts the birds where they're at, what they're there to do. Kittens. Watch out for that owl. Yep. Yep, you guys are all over there, and that's where he's at. Come on. Inside. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on, pretty girl. Come on, kitten girl. Come on, girl. Come on, kitten girl. Come on, TP. Come on, TP. That owl will pick you up and take you away. You're just the smallest little girl. That's a big owl. Come on, guys. Come on, CP. Come on, girl. Come on, Donald. Come on, Donald. Bear delight. Come on. Good boy. Come on, girl. Come on, Titten girl. Come on, girl. Come on, Juniper. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Were you over there with your dad? Come on, CP. Come on, Juniper girl. Juniper girl. Where's my little girl? Juniper girl. Juniper. Juniper girl. Come on, CP. Come on. I know you're over there where that owl's at. Come on. Jennifer. Get over here, my little tendon girl. Come on, CP, let's go. Help you get over here. Come on, Jennifer girl. Come on, girl. Come on, my baby kitten girl. You're the last one outside. Come on. You're the last one in. Come on, sweetie. She's not listening to Dad. Better listen. That's a big owl. We got some big owls out here. There are some big owls. And we got two of the kitties here inside. But my baby little girl's outside. I'm trying to get her to come inside. That owl is right out where she was at by. So this is where Dad came from. My banner boy. My biggest lion king. My lion kitten boy. My biggest kitten boy. Yes, I'm a good guy. He's a good guy. We don't want the owls to take this guy. But she's out there. She's a little girl. This is her dad. Cool. Outstanding. That's a big owl out there, guys. I can hear it. He's right on the pole right out here. Woo! He's got a big old... I don't know if you guys can hear him. You probably just got to hear him out there. He's that loud. And my baby kitten's still out there. No, John O'Donnell, you got to stay in here, John O'Donnell. Come here, my little Agent Orange kitty. Come here, my little Agent Orange kitten, John. Come here, John O'Donnell. Come here. Come here, boy. John. Come here, boy. There, my boy. There, my boy. There, my dad. There, my. He was at the front door. He knows his sissy there, so. Holmes a good guy. Holmes a good guy. Holmes a good guy. Dad loves having you here at the farm. It was nice out today, so I think these guys were definitely out hunting all day. Probably got their tummies all full of sage rats. Did you get a sage rat today? Did you get some mice today? Did you get some mice today? Can you guys hear that owl? He's a big owl out there. And that's where his dad came from. He was out there hanging out. I got my puppy down here harassing me down right below my feet here. What we doing, big? What we doing, big? What we doing, biggest guy? What we doing, biggest guy? What we doing, big? Yeah, I know, I'm bouncing all over the place, so. I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna go check on my little kitten girl. I'm worried about her. That owl is a big owl. Owls never miss their targets. They say that owls have 100% kill rate. Look that up. I don't believe that I'm incorrect. I don't think I would say that if I was wrong. Owls have 100% kill rate. When they go after their stage, I don't know. Hey, go. Come on, girl. Kitten girl. Come on, T. Come on, Juniper girl. Juniper girl. Come on, girl. There, to her girl. Come on. Come on, girl. Come on, TP. Come on, TP. Come on, TP. Oh, there's my girl. There's my girl. There's my little sweetheart. There's the only girl. One girl. Just one girl. He's the only girl with a bunch of boys. Come here, you little knucklehead. Get away from that door. You're having to stay inside for a little while until I stop hearing that owl. You guys will be dinner. Oh, look at kitty surprise. Kitty surprise. Okay, I feel better. I got all my kitties inside, so I'm good. That owl's out there just making a big old woo. I don't know if you guys can hear him. We got Panner and the boy hanging out. We got the girl over there inside. What you doing, girl? Psst. What you doing, Pee-Pee? Come here, Pee-Pee. Come here, girl. Come say hi. Come here, Tipper girl. Come here, girl. Come here, my little girl. There, my girl. Come here. Come here, Pee-Pee. Oh, there comes to the dad. There comes to the dad. Okay, say hi. Say hi, girl. No, you can't go out there until that owl goes away. That owl's got to go away. He's still out there cackling and making a noise. Say hi. Say hi, Juniper girl. Say hi. Say hi. I know you want outside. They want back out there. Want to go out there. And John Don likes to hunt. All right, you got to stay inside for a little bit. Okay, guys? Till that owl flies off. He'll fly off in a little bit. You guys play inside. You guys can run around. Run around inside. Run around inside. Be crazy kitties. Sometimes they don't get too crazy inside. Every once in a while they get a little crazy inside, but not too often. Okay. Cool. Well, again, I'll go back to a little bit to this discussion a little bit. Guys, I can't stay on here too much longer because I got to get up tomorrow and go to work. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that they have a 100% kill rate. You know, when they go after their target, they don't miss. From what I remember, I can't, if I'm not mistaken, I read that multiple times. I had to reread it over and over and like 100% kill rate. Get out of here. Yep, every time they go after their target, they hit it. So, from what I was, maybe it's a certain species, but I thought it was. Sound made it like it was all owls have that. You know, I mean, remember their head can turn on a swivel. They are definitely are an amazing, you know, predator bird. I don't like what they stand for, what, you know, the whole Moloch and all that. But just like the devil, he perverts everything. So he takes something good and makes it evil. So, but owls are definitely one of the most fascinating predator birds on this earth, for sure. But that one out there is big. I can tell it's a big bird. I guarantee you that thing's probably got a head on it. Like, you know, it's making a lot of noise. I have a set of telephone poles on the very last end of the way out on the edge of country, at the very edge of town. I'm my last very, 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 very edge of town. In the water where all the pivots are at, water pivots, and we have a lot of predator birds out here. They hunt the heck out of these fields. You know, we're in the high desert, so there's a lot of sage rats, whistle pigs, prairie dogs, whatever you want to call them. They're all called, you know, different, same species of you know, and there's a lot of them out here, and they actually pay to hunt them because they go into the pivots and dig tunnels and tear up their, you know, equipment. It's like $500,000 for one of these pivots now. Over $1 million. They get even more in the ones that can all be done from their phones and stuff. They can add it's incredible, all the nutrients, all the different whatever they want to deliver to the fields. They can, you know, it's amazing how far this technology has come with farming now. And it's almost all completely automated at this point in time in America. There's very little, you know, hands in the soil, knees in the ground type of farming anymore going on. It's all done by commercial. Yeah, there's some big pivots out here, and they have some pretty amazing pieces of equipment out here that are pretty digitally advanced type things. But just one sage rat or two dig a tunnel, and that can ruin that equipment really quick. So there's a lot of them out here, and they pay to hunt the tails out here. They have a sage rat hunt out here, and they have that over there too. I believe in Ironside they do a hunt over there because that's a similar type of. That's a high desert area where they have a lot of water pivots. That's up high. What's that called? Elijah, remember what that was called over there? The sage rat hunt that they do over there in Ironside. I can't remember what it was, but they'll pay for tails to try to keep the fields clean of the sage rats, because they do a number with tunneling, just like a lot of these rodents, you know, they like to tunnel. So, but I believe that's why we have so many predator birds here, between the water, the regular water, and the, you know, the high desert with a high amount of those sage rats in the fields. And then we have field mice too, rabbits, you know, all the other out here in the country. But I live at the very, 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 very edge of the
would be the southwest side of the valley where the last telephone poles are at. So these birds know that this is here. You know what I'm saying? These birds know that this is the end. Once they go here, they can't sit and perch anymore. They got to go out into the mountains. And so this kind of a landmark for them. Really is. I get a lot of birds. I've had, 5 bald eagles on this, go up just up the road, 5 miles. That's one per mile, and see 5 bald eagles. So, there's a massive one who lives out here too. Biggest bald eagle I've ever seen personally. I've seen bigger ones on TV, but this is a massive, this reminds me of some of the ones that were up there in Alaska. They have some huge bald eagles up there, but this is a very, very, very heavy predator bird location. And again, I believe it's because all the water pivots and all the extra rodents that are in this desert that they like to hunt. So good place to, if you like to eat rodents. The coyotes hunt the heck out of the fields too. They're always out there pouncing on them, and when they pop up, they're playing whack-a-mole, but instead of whack-a-mole, the coyotes love those sage rats too. They eat them like crazy when they pop their heads up. It's pretty neat to see them coyotes out in the field. They go up there and they boom, and they pounce on them, and yeah, we got a ton of those and a ton of coyotes. So, but yeah, I remember it always reminds me of scripture when I'm out here of how he talks about how he puts those birds in place for that red horse of the apocalypse, remember? So we're pretty close to that, I'm sure. We're not, it's not the end of the world, but I do believe that we are very close to that red horse of the apocalypse being revealed here real soon. We've already seen that rider on the white horse. The heavens declared it. The ages declared it. We're already here. We've already seen the one who brought the crown and the bow. The crown, the one that was on the white horse, Sagittarius. So yeah, I think I might actually sleep good tonight. I didn't sleep very good last night or this morning. Didn't go to bed too early again. Did too long of streaming, but that's okay. I was glad when I woke up. For some reason, I thought it was Monday. And get lost on country time out here, and I don't really, every day's a Sabbath to me, so I don't really think about the days very much like that. But I do know now that it's not Monday, it was Sunday, and so tomorrow I'm going to go back and get back to the things that need to get done on this property that are way more important than some of the silly things I've been tinkering around with out here and doing. But I still need to probably get those cabins done. I'm still going to continue to try to work on those, and I really can't push through this concrete work until I can see some pretty steady, 40, 50 degree days, and because it cools off quite a bit at nighttime, and I want that concrete to cure properly. I better get my fanny to work though on that, but my tail to work on that stuff, because I got so much ahead of me this year, and the time will go by fast, like I remember it did last year. I think we're going to have a hotter summer, shorter summer, like all solar minimums, grand solar minimums, and a, colder, longer winters. That's what we've been seeing. Shorter, hotter summers, extremes, more droughts, more extremes, more rain, more record rain, like all that rain that the Pineapple Express that came across, again, the El Nino from the west, all that tropical belt of moisture that's been coming in. It's all cycles. They're all in this part of this cycle again that said we probably don't have a whole lot more, maybe a year and a half of this solar maximum that we're in, and we're going to dip back into that solar minimum and we're not going to see another solar maximum for at least 6-7 years from that point. So we'll see what this La Nina, this El Nino does. They've been talking a lot about this AMOC, the Atlantic multi overturning circulation currents of the Atlantic, and it dips down in when it gets to the north portion of the Atlantic, and if it doesn't do that, then it continues into that. That's called a gyre, part of our Heinrich cycle, or these events that we have that have been blowing the horn, just saying over and over, trying to bring people these cycles about this event that happened within these solar minimum and the grand solar minima. There's these different type events that happen on clockwork, again, that have been pointing out over and over and over again now. I mean, I think with the graphic now that I put up on the channel that's up there in the imagery, there's no doubt that these things that I tell you are going to continue. We're going to continue into this solar minimum. And, the sun has stepped down its cycle the last 3 solar cycles. And we are seeing more extremes. And that should be quite obvious by now. With the changing of our upper jet streams and the changing of our upper atmosphere, again, starting up there at the heliosphere, having all kinds of moisture stuck in that atmosphere. It's a very cold layer of our atmosphere that if there's any moisture up there, it just instantly freezes. So when Honga Tonga went off, it pumped 146 gigarams of our ocean that's just stuck up there. And I've been thinking about that a lot too. That's got to have an effect too on what, I know they know that's up there, and they're the ones who put it up there. And I believe they put it up there with their machine, do me, baby. Bell bib the bow. Now you know. Yo slick. Blow. Huh. So there it went. Rose up into the upper atmosphere, 180,000 feet. See, those atmospheres have a lot of effect on this Earth. It's not like Reaganomics, the trickle-down effect. Remember, that didn't work out very well for all you financial gurus that might continue, that might watch this now or here during the live or later, because we seem to be getting a lot of views to the channel after and the live streams. I went and looked at the analytics, and it looks like we're picking up quite a few from the shorts. Obviously, I think they do open up the live stream to shorts, and people can see that. I don't know how they do that. What if they just see a little clip or what? I'm not on that side. I'm actually the host and the one creating the content, not the one in watching the live. So I think that's how it's pulling traffic over to this areas from some of the short section, because a lot of people like shorts. But it says that most people are 95% of my viewers are live stream viewers. They're coming just for the live stream. And I've been telling everybody that forever. They don't, because I watch all the analytics on the channel, and I did watch them from TikTok and stuff. It doesn't, I'm not trying to do it to become some kind of sensation or anything like that. I just pay attention to the details and watch some of the, I've been shadow banned over there on TikTok after I put the video that I just put out is what got me shadow banned over on TikTok. So let's hope for the best, that the Most High will protect this channel. I looked at, it was through trying to answer some of the comments, on some of the videos, and, or at least, let people know, acknowledge, put out the heart, or if it's nice, if it's I appreciate people taking the time to make comments on all the videos. It does help the algorithm. It does help when everybody gives it a thumbs up, all those things. None of those things ever cost money. I don't thumbs up every video that I watch. Obviously, it's got to be something that I like, but it doesn't cost anything to thumbs up a video. All these people, it's free. Most people ain't got a broken finger, but they won't do it. And I know that. That's okay. Afraid initially for spiritual. Yep, that's all God does it. the word believe is a verb. Is that Brett? If you watch me, we define words in here to help. Thanks for that thumbs up, guys. Appreciate it. The word believe is a verb. Try to remember that though. Okay. Believe is a verb. Faith is a noun. So, and if there's something that's calling you to this channel, it was him. And if it was something calling you to him, it's him. He said, if I don't call out to their hearts to seek after me, not one of them would. Thanks so much for coming in here. 3 acres. Good to see you. Another person really in, I don't want to over give away all your gig, but living the dream, truly living the dream on a beautiful piece of property, and has a really good spiritual and organic thing going. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate your continued support of this channel and support of the work that's being done here. So definitely feel blessed to have this channel up. I hope again that it stays up, and I don't have any issues with it going down because of that video, but I did some trimming around with it. I had it actually because there was some music in the background that it was having a problem with. It didn't want to even load it, and then it didn't want to monetize it. It kicked it back, and I was struggling, but I got it up. I got the video up on this platform. So hopefully the people who need to see it will get it, to get the message. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm not right about this cycle, but I've been watching it for too long. You know what I'm saying? Too many years of watching this cycle. So I think I'm going to be correct with this magnetics and the way that we get pinched in with this weakened magnetosphere. I think we're going to see those tides shift. You know, there's something that's going to push on these tides, and I know what it is. It's the weakened magnetosphere. It's no hiding it anymore. The Air Force just came out and said, look, we have a 40% over the last 4 years. I've shown it on the channel. Last 4 years, our magnetosphere, that protection, I was telling you, part of those atmospheres, the most important protection that protects us from that space weather, the geomagnetic storms, the radio blackouts, all the cosmic, protons, ionized, deionized plasma, the gases that come from our sun that hit our protection, has scrubbed off that magnetic protection. The field strength is weakened by 40%. So we only have a 60% shield now. 60%. And the last time in 79 AD, we went into this alignment, our shield strength was at 100%. We're going to get smashed. We're going to get weather-wise. This Earth is going to be a new Earth, I believe, after that time. I feel with all my heart that this Earth is going to get pumped. And everywhere there's a hole, or so to speak, in this Earth, just like the Word of God says, it's, in his book. And again, I don't teach out Enoch. I don't talk about these things. I keep it off this channel. I just try to keep this channel predestined to the gospel. But in that book, it talks about fountains, that the mountains, they literally turn to fountains, to liquid. And I know exactly what that's talking about. It's talking about this event where the inner earth, the liquid, the firmament, the waters below and the waters above, that's 2 layers, obviously. And so it's going to pump and push that layer all the way up, just like it did with Tonga. That reached 180,000 feet. It hit the top of our atmosphere, which would be the stratosphere, and, pancaked off and did all, that is 180,000 feet in the air. And I believe that's going to happen all over this Earth. And it's going to, in some places, electrify and harden and turn into rock. And this has happened before on this Earth. They're all over this Earth. We don't see them anymore with the floods and the ice ages. And, we're talking about thousands of years, but there's evidence these have been here before on this Earth. And they're not just here where I live or in others, they're all over. But I believe it's this inner earth, like this liquefaction event that we had during the 1800s, where there was actually mud volcanoes spewing hot, mud from the inner earth, hot, liquid, the waters below, hot, pushing through the mud, spewing up into our atmosphere. Maybe some of it'll harden and it'll look like a tree when it's done. But I don't want to get ahead of myself because that's not the event. I am getting a little ahead of myself. But we got to get through the water coming up onto the, up onto the continents first. But I believe that 525 event, though, where we're out in front of the sun all by ourselves, man, I don't know how this Earth is going to make it through that. We don't have any magnetic protection then. Well, not from the other stars, from the other, ones that were in these normal cycles, the 11.9 year cycle of this normal, what creates this minima and maxima. Again, 5-9 up, 5-9 down, 12 years, every 11 years, the sun's magnetics changes from north to south, meaning not the actual sun doesn't flip, the magnetics itself changes. We're in the middle of an excursion right now. We're overdue. They used to happen on a regular basis, 300 to 360,000 years. Now it's been 780,000 years since we've had one. So there's so many things that are lining up for this Earth to have just changes that are just things that we've never even thought we would see in our day and our age. But they've happened before on this Earth, time immemorial. They're just cycles, but, people don't think that these things will happen, but that's exactly how these things happen. They don't happen, they don't happen, they don't happen, and all of a sudden they're there right on your doorstep. They're already happening, or you're right in the middle of it. Exactly like I've been showing people on this channel here and declaring we're already 3+ years into the extinction event. Now, we already made it to the extinction event. We're already in the 6th extinction event. You made it. See? Look at that. You thought we were all going to die, huh? You thought that's what extinction meant, but you don't study extinctions on how they work. Most people don't. I know that. They don't study the sun. They don't study the atmosphere. They don't study the strata, the layers of the Earth, the paleoclimatology records. They don't go through the ice core data records. They don't look at any of these things because they have a world and a job, I guess, and a house and a car and a kids and a family or whatever they got. They just don't look at it. I don't know. It's not for them. God does not remove the scales from everybody's eyes, I guess, brothers, sisters. I got to remind myself that often. That is, those that he made and chose to be watchers on the wall, those people that would declare and blow that horn, that warning horn of what they saw, standing on that wall. It's many are called, but few are chosen to do these things. So, but again, I think it's quite obvious if you look at his markers, if you look what he's leaving on this Earth, if you look what the devil, these distributors of fortunes, lies are doing, they tell truths. Even though they distribute lies, they still tell truths. And not like the devil doesn't tell truths, these angels do. They still just do it in a different way. They invert it. They take everything righteous and make it wrong, but then they still tell the truth. So, not because the devil has to tell the truth. The devil doesn't have to tell the truth. Karmatic law and all that. I get a little frustrated when I hear that. That's just kind of worldly talk. The devil can do whatever he wants in this world. My son kind of reminded me of that, yeah, Dad, the Most High is sovereign and is creator of the law, and truly is the only sovereign entity without darkness. Everything is of darkness. We all have darkness in us, pulled from the darkness to the light. But the devil kind of has a reign down here to do what his will, and God kind of gave him free reign of this third dimension, this test of our will and faith. Remember, under that testament, that new living will and testament that he put us under. So, very interesting times to be here and to watch such passing of I remember Honga Tonga, or excuse me, not Honga Tonga, that was Bardabunga up to the north. That was the northern hemisphere. Something went off, and it started out just as a little smoke coming up through the ice. It used to take such massive time to watch changes happen on this Earth, brothers, sisters. And I watched it go from a little chooch of smoke out of the ice to the world's largest world's largest lava flow on the Earth. I mean, the changes that have been happening on this Earth in the last 5, 10, 20, 30 years have just been breakneck, and they're not even close to the changes that we're about to see on this Earth.
rapid increase, the intensity of change. That's what I'm trying to keep telling people. Pay attention to the weather, please. Do you have a plan for hail? Can your house make it through basketball size hail right now? You know, we had that size hail in the 1800s. That's not even plague size hail. Well, it probably feels like a plague. But that's not 149 pound, 14 ounce, you know, hail like the talent that it says that will happen with the 146 gigarams of moisture that was pumped up there into our upper atmosphere and still stuck up there, waiting to come down as 149 pound, 14 ounce hail balls at free fall speed, like the buildings on 9 and 1 and 1, right? Free fall speed. How does a basketball size hail feel coming down? That's definitely blunt force trauma to the head if you're outside. But could your house make it through it? Oh, that's not going to happen in my lifetime, Tracy. Yeah, I never thought that I would see the mechanics of 146 gigarams of the inner ocean or the southern ocean, you know, again, pumped into our upper atmosphere, sitting there frozen, waiting just for a high pressure, you know, hurricane season, vacuum to blow up like this earth pulls all the heat from this cools itself by the earth, cooling itself through the oceans, pulling that heat off of the oceans and pulling that and blowing that like a blower in the, you know, convection, a vacuum, blowing it and cooling it off into our upper atmosphere. And we got 149 pound, 14 ounce hail, 146 gigarams. Is anybody good with math? I know most people hate math. Is anybody good with math? Do you realize how much moisture? That's 14% more moisture that is sitting up there. That was never there. Only took our atmosphere to shrink down in the 1800s to create more cloud nucleation, that the excitement that makes cloud cover from our atmosphere shrinking down in the 1800s, and that causes more cosmic radiation to penetrate that magnetosphere back in the 1800s, which caused the basketball size hail. That was from cloud cover, not from 146 gigarams of the ocean pumped up into our atmosphere. Everybody's just forgot about that, but doesn't mean that it's not still sitting up there, brothers and sisters. It is there. And I've been warning again about hailstone for 15 years. Do you have a hail plan? Just not going to HE double toothpicks, you know, the abyss hail and no knowledge, but like, you know, frozen rocks falling from the sky, you know. So I can never would have imagined in my lifetime, brothers and sisters, they would have pumped Tonga, however they did that. I know how they did it, but it doesn't matter. They still did it. It's still sitting up there and it's frozen. And if you watched last year in the Atlantic, we had record heat. And I hope you pay attention, brothers and sisters. It is heating up faster than it did last year. Yes, it's heating up faster than it did last year. There were some places, the ocean can't be no 101 degrees. People, the ocean's 101 degrees. You guys just believe whatever you read on, you know, remind me of Richard Nixon. Americans don't believe anything until they see it on television. You believe anything you read on the internet. Well, I'm sure there was a station at 101 degrees somewhere on a shoal on the inside of these little, but not out in the water. If the ocean was 101 degrees, everything would be dead, you know. But it was in the 90s. It was in the 90s, and that's still almost, you know, that's bathwater type, you know. So the ocean got very warm. We dodged a bullet last year, guys. I do not see how we did not have. I just don't know how it didn't happen. God is being so absolutely merciful with us right now. You do not realize what's sitting over the top of your head. Oh, Father, please give me patience to make it through these days. I don't know how. I don't have too much longer, 5 years, 3 years or something until you're going to truly bring the fire. But we got a long way to go, man. We got a ways to go to get through these plagues. There are more than one plague, you know.
I just get wore out sometimes, brothers, sisters, when I want people, I really wish people would understand what is right in front of us, what's sitting right over the top of our head, what is to come, what is to, God, I hope I'm wrong about these tides lifting up onto this earth, and I can't imagine the death and the destruction that will bring. He plowed salt into the land 2,600 years ago. The temple was destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar, and he plowed salt in the land after destroying the temple and turning it into gravel, rubble, every building in Israel, and then made sure so nothing could grow there for a whole lifetime. Plowing salt into the land, huh? This overlay water map that I've been showing you. The water coming all the way up to the Rockies. Most of the world, remember, it's not the promise of a rainbow. He will never flood this whole earth again. His promise was, I'll bring the fire, remember? I'm not going to do it with water this time. I'm going to bring the fire. That cleansing, refiner's fire, huh? Hallelujah. So, you have to excuse me. I'm just getting a little worn out with this. It's hard to sit here and the more I think about this, the harder it gets. A little harder to do. It wasn't so hard, but it's really starting to come together very fast. Very, very fast. I see all these people, they're flooding into that part of the United States. Flooding in. Get it? Like a sea of people. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you guys. The foreshadowing of the destruction, 40 days of the destruction of Nineveh. And they've got an eclipse going through the wrong way through 4 Ninevehs, Tango, stop. Thank you. So, I hope you understand how blessed we are, brothers, sisters. If you even know what's, on our plate, and you have the ability to get ready right now before this whole world figures it out, and they won't. He has shown me that too. He really showed me that. He was showing me that very heavily last week. He was showing me that, Tracy, I said I will come like a thief in the night. What part of foolish virgins do you not understand? Remember, I said, do not pray for them. I went back through all this scripture and I kept reading, and he kept showing me, I know I don't love them. They're vessels of wrath fitted for destruction. I'm going to send them to hell. Don't save them. Don't pray for them. Don't stop trying to. That's your problem, Tracy. You're trying to change the world, And I'm not, brothers and sisters. I'm not. That's not what I'm here to do. It's so hard to watch this, His flock is small. If there will be a new world and he's going to take the evil from this earth, you can't imagine that there's a lot of really righteous men left out there at this point in time. Either they're overcome by the flesh or bills or money or just the cares, punch drunk, asleep at the wheel, asleep, So, yeah, he gave his flesh. Yeah, they won't. I realize that, you know what I'm saying, sister? I realize that they won't. God does not want them to see it. Tracy, stop like that. Don't stop sounding the horn. Don't stop blowing the message, but stop with your heart. I don't want these people. Stop giving your heart to these people. I want to destroy them, just like I want to do the things and make you suffer in your life because I want you to go through suffering. This ain't some easy peasy Broadway life, You chose a difficult path and you have to stay on it. You can't set your cross down, so don't worry about that. But brothers and sisters, Jesus Christ was a man of sorrows. Do you understand? He was a man of sorrows. I know he didn't like what he saw. He didn't like that they perverted the word. He didn't like what he saw. He knew what was to come. Remember, he knew everything.
The only thing I know that I can figure out that he didn't know was the day or the hour. Otherwise, you know, it's almost pointless sometimes to even think that we have any say in any of it, you know, because we don't. You know, he writes and chooses all things, but he really weighed heavy on my heart last week, and he kept showing me that through the word, because that's how he does it to me. Not, Tracy, this is God. Look at this book. You know, he reveals these things to me. This is where this is at. This is where this is at. Look over here. You know, this is the chapter. Don't you remember reading this? I wrote this on your heart. I want this to be revealed to you again. Go back and look at what you already know. Go back and prove keep going over it again and again and again, and it's going to keep coming back to you. If you keep staying, like I tell you, to take your cross up daily, you will more and more. All these things that you've been seeking, you will find, and ask for the things that you've asked for in this book, and I will give you that aletheia, that truth, that knowledge, that understanding. So, what an amazing time to have eyes to see and ears to hear, and not be punch drunk on the cares of this world, to be a witness to the celestial markers, the biblical markers, that are written in his book, scriptural, again, the agricultural markers. Just to even have this vessel, and this, honestly, sometimes I feel very selfish for wanting anything, like, I guess my thing is company. I don't want things of the flesh. Oh, just trying to finish up here, Enormous, there. Just talking about this 6th Extinction event, what we're in here, just how blessed we are, how merciful he is that he hasn't unloaded that 146 gigarams of ocean on top of our heads. That will be the hailstones, the weight of a talent, that it says in scripture. I always wondered, I was like, how in the heck could that be 149 pounds, guys? I mean, my discovery is the largest size hail that I've ever been able to find any kind of recorded history of. Any kind of recorded history. That would be in the 1800s. That'd be in the 1800s when they had basketball size hail. And I told you what was from. It was from the shrinking down of our atmosphere, where we got close enough to the sun where it emitted more cosmic solar radiation, which created increased cloud. It excites the cloud for them to nucleate, form together, and create that layer of moisture in our atmosphere. That's caused from cosmic solar radiation. That's caused from, the protons penetrating into our atmosphere and then creating that extra layer of cloud cover. That happened back in the 1800s. And that caused basketball size hail. And so I always wondered, how could there be 149 pound, 14, make it 115. It's 2 ounces shy of 150 pounds. So 150 pound hail. And I always look for that cycle. I told you I've been watching these hail cycles, and I've done videos on this. Even before we had what is called gale. Now, when I was studying hail and put out videos, we were having gorilla hail. That's like, like softball size, between softball and maybe, cantaloupe size. They're large hail, large, very large. I found that the largest recorded hail that I could find the last time I did a video was 8 pounds and something ounces, a little over 9 inches in circumference. And, as far as the record here, that they held. And then I went and found older records to find that there were actually basketball size hail during this, obviously after the Carrington event, happened in the 1800s, that we had, larger than gorilla hail, because we used to just have that
maybe something softball or basketball, or not basketball, but like a cantaloupe, even between that size, maybe once every 5 years that event would happen, recorded on this earth in one location. And then maybe once every 2 or 3 years it might happen, maybe in a couple times in a year that it might happen. And there would go years that it didn't happen, and then all of a sudden it started increasing in intensity. I've noticed that when I did the videos, and then that came out with what I went from it just being pretty regular to them calling out so many gorilla hail events, gorilla hail, that they came up with a term called gale. Not just isolated events, but actual patterns, and now it was starting to happen in multiple times in a month, and then in a week, and then a day, in multiple locations, and it's more of a regular thing now. If you research that, you can go find all the places that are getting pounded with hail already. This is not something that isn't already intensifying, like I was telling you. So with my discovery of researching for 20 plus solid years on hail events, basketball size hail is the largest I've been able to find. And so it was just really hard for my brain to fathom 149 pounds and 150 pound hail. How could that even be? It just doesn't seem like there could be an event to create that much more. Because if you learn the way that the cycle of a hailstone works, is it pulls it up, and it pulls it up off the moisture, either through cloud cover, and lifts it and lofts it up into our atmosphere, and it stays up there. And the longer it stays up, it gets heavy enough to where it starts to come back down. Now, if there's high pressure that's pushing that back up, it can stay up there a little higher before it comes down. And that's where you're going to get, not just your little hail, you're going to starting to get some. The longer it lofts up there. I'll let you out in a minute, whiny butt. I don't hear the owl anymore. Sorry, he's a whiner. He whines to get out, he whines to get in. But look at the cycle, look up hail, you can see how it works. It's kind of like the hydrological cycle between it, but it's more of it stays up there, lofts, and then it gets so heavy that it will start and it will fall back to earth. Hail is not like extremely complicated the way that it's formed, but I could just never see it staying up there to form something, 140. I'm like, there's no way gravity would pull that back down, guys. I kept, and I'm like, I don't know. It has to be something I just couldn't fathom. I always would think about how, because I know the cycles and how this is formed. I could really think in the 1800s when I researched. All right, buddy, stop. All right, I gotta go let him out. He's just gonna sit there and whine and whine. I hope that owl's gone. You're gonna be orange lunch meat if owls don't miss. Owls don't miss. I hope that owl, I don't want him to get eaten. I like John O'Donnell. He's a good kid, good boy. So, what kind of cover do you think you'd have to have over your head to survive basketball size hail? I don't think the average home, today's stick-built home, fends very well with gorilla hail, the cantaloupe size, the softball size hail. That does a lot of damage, and it has. You can find videos and stuff for this, that, it's already causing damage around the earth. The four corners of the round table, or the earth. So I don't even know what it would take to survive basketball size hail. I think you'd probably have to have at least 5 or 6 feet of dirt on top of your head, 6 feet under. Not literally, but, you know, to survive basketball size. I don't think a lot of the modern homes would fend very well. Maybe some of the commercial infrastructure, they have a lot more rebar and concrete and you know, full actual angle iron and you know, channel iron, and that might survive okay, but you know, might get banged up on the tops and stuff. But I don't think the average home can make it through a basketball size hail. Not with sheeting and trusses made of wood, and I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down, right? Sticks and 2x6s on the exterior walls and 2x4s on the interior walls. And, you know, they have like a 10-inch bottom board on the bottom of a truss, you know, that bottom board. And then the boards on top are going to be thinner. So sheeting, tar paper or Tyvek and some laminate or whatever, that's not going to support no basketball size hail. So I don't know. You know, I don't know how much longer that we have before this event start happening, where we start having massive hail event. That'll happen this spring. I really do. This ocean's heating up really quick and super fast, way faster than it did last year. And it heated up so fast last year that you know how it just bam, and it was hot like that. It's doing it again. It's doing the same thing it did last year. So, you know, all it would take and go push up and we'd have what was a gyre event, or like in a Heinrich event, that where it would the overturning of the mid-Atlantic would not slump down in to the Atlantic and circulate back down through the south and current around and then do its cycle. It would go up into the Arctic, and it would melt those ice caps from underneath, and that would push all the currents and change the whole circulation of the way our hydrocycle works. And that would send us into an ice age. And I mean like that. I mean, fast, weeks, months, probably not even years. And bam, we'd be, you know, not Day After Tomorrow, the movie, but it would be fast. It would go so fast. And there'd be no turning back from that. The whole thing would have to recycle in a larger cycle. And we come through those things. We make it through those type of events. But brother, sister, you look at what's going on up in the Arctic right now. Russia's building icebreakers. They're building a whole infrastructure. If you watch Mr. Devine, David over there at Adapt 2030, he's been covering this recently, and it's something I've been trying to talk about. I've been covering the fact that Russia has been building icebreakers. I know I put that out about 5 years ago that they were, I know it was during the last administration. And I believe it was maybe even closer to right before the last one got elected that Russia started building more ice, because I knew of the solar minimum, you know, this solar minima, the grand solar minima and the maxima of the sun and the sun cycles, you know, the 12-year cycle, the 400-year cycle, the 1200-year cycle, the 12,000-year cycle, you know, all these different cycles, not just the ones we were taught in school, the basics, but all the other cycles that are out there that I've been able to discover, and knew that this solar minimum was coming. We're already in it. There is record, I can't remember how much tonnage of ice is in the Arctic right now. You know, there is some melting off in the Antarctic, but there is an equivalent. Remember algebra, if you take stuff from here, you got to give it over there, right? Well, we have had massive gains of sea Arctic ice extent in the northern hemisphere, in the Arctic. And so even with the cooling up there and all, or the warming, it's still, people don't understand how these solar minima work. They have hotter hots, higher temperatures, hotter summers, shorter, and longer, colder winters. It's just part of the cycle. Droughts, all these things are part of this solar cycle. And they're very aware of it. I've shown you that on this channel with the Maltese cross and the 6,000 years ago at the time of Christ, and here we are in the 6th extinction event. They're not oblivious to this. Not at all. Not at all. They're not oblivious. They have all the understanding of these cycles. I told you they've known about this cycle of this 12,000 year when Jupiter conjuncted with Saturn. I mean, come on, guys. They knew how to make the nation of Israel and form it off of Jupiter and Saturn in Aries. Again, some of the stuff that I put out is, I have so much information that actual evidence that I put out of what is going on. So I just don't know. Again, I don't know anybody's getting ready for this. You know, every time I talk about this, I just feel more and more alone. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, brothers, sisters here, but just all these things, like, I don't know, buddy, I got to get tomorrow and I got to get my butt and stop being on this thing all day. And that's fine. I have no issues what I've done in the past couple of weeks. I feel so much better than I did physically. And the channel has been, you guys, I looked 5 days ago, 6 days ago, this channel had, we were hitting 5,000 subscribers, and now it's over. I did a live stream the other day and picked up 1,000 subscribers on an 8-hour live stream. Cool. Yeah, I've been covering the magnetic excursion. A pole shift is oh, I'm getting a little tired, guys. About to get off here. Yep, it's about that time. But I stay out here too long. This would be, the sun does this every 11. Your compass would be pointed it would be pointing south instead of north. Positive, negative. Okay, we'll watch it again. See, we're in the middle of a magnetic excursion on our Earth. This is happening. This used to happen every 300 to 360,000 years, like a clock. Ding, when it hits the top, we're overdue. It used to happen every 360,000 years. It has been over 780,000 years since it's happened. We're in the middle of a solar minima right now. So I'm going to show you this one last graphic, guys, and then I better call it a night. I'm getting a little wore out. I got to get up tomorrow and do concrete work and stuff here. So let me see if I can show you this on this graph. I don't know how well this will work, but let me find maybe something blank. Okay. Okay, on this graphic, I want to show you this. I'm doing better. I am doing better. So on this graphic, I know it's a little blurry. Let me see if this will zoom in and stop being so blurry. Darn it, this camera is garbage. I need to get an iPad or something, guys. I don't do the techie tech thing. So on this line, there's a line on here. I'm not sure if you guys can. I'm so frustrating. Okay. So we're going to work our way back because I think you'll be able to see it. You see this line here? That dotted line? That's 0 degrees. So that's freezing. That's freezing. Give me some patience, Father, please.
How do I do that? I don't know how to do that. I already asked me to do that. I don't know how do I. Where would I find that at? I don't see that in the settings, so I just don't know how to do that. I think it's just my lighting coming from above, man, and I have a stupid cheap one. So, you see that line, how it says 0? You see that line? That's freezing. That's above freezing. That's going to be below freezing. I know it's blurry, but you guys can see this dotted line, correct? Okay, you see this dotted line here? Does everybody see this dotted line? This dotted line is 0 degrees. Freezing. Celsius, 0 degrees. This is above freezing. This is below freezing. The Earth is below freezing. This is where we're at now. The longest warming period ever. Ever. Freezing, 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 freezing. This Earth is freezing the whole time. Freezing, 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 freezing. See that little blip of warm? Freezing, 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 freezing. See that little... Oh. Come back over here. Patience, Tracy. There's our first warming period above the line. There's our first warming period above the line. That's a warming period. All freezing, all freezing, all freezing, all freezing. We're here right now. The longest extended warming period in history. This is the freezing line. This is 0 degrees. This is freezing. So the Earth is freezing this whole time. Below, it's an icy rock. It's not 70 and sunny. It's freezing. It's freezing. It's freezing. That's the first, back when our first warming period. Obviously, the Earth has been, we're going the wrong way. The Earth has been way warmer in history back here, correct, than here. They pull all this global warming bull crap. See how the 0 line is right here? We're right here. It's been warmer right here, correct? Warmer here. Warmer here. But you see how short that warming period is? And then we go back into freezing. Freezing, 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 freezing. We're going back in this is 400,000 years of history. Oh, there's a warming period. For a minute, boom, back into the freezing, 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 freeze. Oh, a little warming period. Back into the freezing, freezing, freezing. Below 0, below 0. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 cycles below freezing. 99% of the time, this Earth is a frozen ball. I just showed you that, though. 3 acres of grace. I just showed you. You can't, that's 400,000 years of history. And there's only little tiny blips. Warm period, warm period, warm period. All this down here is freezing. We only have brief moments of warming on our Earth, guys. We don't live on a warm ball. You know, we live on a frozen ball that has these brief moments that we come out of these ice ages, and we're already 6,000 years into a 90,000 year cycle. Yeah, it's the sun doing this. It's the sun cycle. It's the sun doing this. The sun is the driver of the climate. Climate change is real because the climate has always been changing, but some things are cyclical in nature. So, you know, as we saw here, always happens on the line. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw, I made another graphic for the new one here. This is where we're at. We made it to the line. We made it to the line. We're on the line. We're on the 12,000 year cycle. Noah event. Noah event 6,000 years ago. Here we are into the future. Always on the line. Always on the line. Always on the line. This isn't a guess. They knew this was going to happen. They knew thousands of years ago this was going to happen. They knew hundreds of years this was going to happen. They're writing out this cycle, guys. We're on the line as of 12/21 of 2020. We passed into that age. From Pisces, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius. Whoa. On the line. Well, that's interesting. Lighthouses are amazing. Be a vessel of light in a dark place. In a dark place, so that when people lose their navigation, that they will have a beacon of light to head towards. Not that you are trying to rise or shine above others with pride, but that you will be a beacon of light in a dark place when people have lost their way, their navigation. Please be that lighthouse. He tells us that the eye is the lamp of the body, correct? And if the eye is filled with light, the whole vessel is filled with light. If the vessel is filled with if the eye of the light is filled with darkness, then the whole vessel is filled with darkness and they cannot mix. So continuing to put up that oil and be that eye, that vessel of light in this dark place. That's what it tells me. Yep. It is the lamp to the body. So fill that lamp with oil, with the right, with light, aletheia, and orizo. So that's what I get when I think of because I'm a veteran. I think about navigation. Navigation. Why did they have lighthouses? Well, they didn't have navigation back then. No, I've never, not by I've heard that I'm sure I have, but not by name. I don't recall it, and I'm getting better with names, but I'm sure I've listened to something. I've done a lot of studying in 30 years. People are like, how do you know some of this stuff? Well, sometimes I studied for 20 hours a day. Come on, guys. Sometimes I come in here and just go like a stinking fountain for 12 hours. Yeah, that sounds familiar. I think I know who that is then. I was thinking that's where that sounded a little bit older to me. But anyways, definitely, brothers, sisters, when I think of a lighthouse, light, our temple, our body, all glory to the Father, Elohim. All glory to him. He made me do it. He made me. There was something inside me, many decades ago a few, that just something just burned inside of me to be with him. He pulled me to him. I just remember that's all I could think about was like, oh my gosh, there was something that I liked in this world other than being a space brain and being a space cadet. There's something that you guys have never heard that my dad used to call me all the time, that I was a space cadet. Spacey Tracy. Hello, Nanu, come back to Earth. Hello, Nanu, Shazbot. Space Cadet, Spacey Tracy. So, yeah, they've always called me crazy and spacey. I've never been participated in the world. But once I found the word, or rocket head, yep, that's me. That's what my dad called me. He said I wouldn't, my head wasn't in the clouds. It was, he would compare. He said, your brothers, they get a little, at times, they don't think, and they get, their head is in the clouds. But you, Tracy, now you, I got to pull you back from some other planet. He used to tell me, I didn't even think your mom, I don't think your mom had you. I think you're from somewhere else. I think the doctors like put you in the, because you're not like your brothers. That's what I always took it at, I never mind being called different. I kind of like that, guys. I did growing up. Not like that. I just didn't want to be like anybody else. I didn't want to be like anybody else. I didn't want to be like my brothers. I liked my dad because I remember when he said something, he did it. He never faltered one time. My dad never once said he was going to do something and didn't come through. And my mom was the complete opposite. Yep. Lupin just going through space brain and being, in some other realm and time and space, just passing through here, just looping through time and space, just on another plane, time and dimension, but here in the flesh, but not in the so much in the spirit. Yep. So, but like I said, I don't have no issues with that really at all, because I remember I didn't want to be like the world. I didn't. There was nothing here for me. I mean, yeah, I tinker with things and collected widgets and gadgets, and I'm eccentric and I like weird things and odd and one-off things, something that's not like any other thing. I kind of tend to flock to oddities and things that are one-off. I kind of like myself. I really think that they would have a very, 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 very difficult time cloning me and putting me in front of somebody that actually knew me. I mean, they whatever, they can do it because nobody knows me, but I don't think I could be cloned. I don't think they could program me and get me to say what I say and act how I act and do what I do. Because again, brothers, sisters, all that time ago, all those years ago, I mean, I was super, super young. I remember when I first discovered the word. I told you when I was young, my dad, he told me that God is, what gave him the strength to get up and walk out of that hospital after being bent in half like a taco, what should have killed him. And I knew from there, I knew already. I was 8 or 9 years old. I remember after my dad just came and stole this from my mom, we were in a really bad spot. But then I remember him telling me that. And so I always itched. And so I hadn't have anybody to talk to about it. We didn't go to church. My dad never once talked to me about Jesus or nothing. We didn't go to church, nothing. We said prayers, but it was just hedonistic type of prayer. But there was just something that honestly, I just wanted to die back then. To be honest with you, I wanted to leave. I didn't want to be here anymore. At 8 or 9 years old, I didn't want to be here. I wanted to go where I was at in my head. And I wanted to leave this place, and I didn't want to be here. And that's why I always got in trouble, with not like ever with like the law or anything, but with not getting A's when my dad knew I was well enough to have the intelligence to get A's, but I wouldn't do it. I wanted to go back to who I was. I felt so foreign, even when I was real young. I was like, oh, that's who I am. I'm that place that I want to be. That's not here. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to be. And so I would fight constantly with people and my dad and all these other things that have affected my life because I didn't want to participate in this world. So it's been a long ride for me. And like I said, 50 years now, and that's not whatever. People live a lot longer than me, but of a constant trying to get out of here and or at least do as least amount as I can. I've always been told that, that if I would It's not that I haven't accomplished some amazing things, but they're like, you do so many things. If you just hone in on one thing, why can't you just do one thing at a time? You always do. You have 50 things going at a time. You can't just settle and keep yourself, because see, that gets my mind out of the world, so to speak, because I'm in here and I'm there and I'm here and I'm there, and then I'm all over the place, and then I don't have to steady on the world. So I'm a strange character. That's why I told you, I don't think they could clone me. I think they'd have a difficult time. If they put me back in front of my son, he'd go, no way. That's not my dad. That's not him, but I think it's always been, what's made me strange is that I just always had this way that I didn't want to be a part of the world, but yet I knew that there was something in this world that was here for me. And that's when I discovered that word, and discovered God, and discovered his power, and discovered his ability to see my dad and know that he should have never, ever, 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 ever walked. And he did. He walked again with the impossibility. So thanks for coming in, Angel. Appreciate it. Angelos, the messenger, 7777, the number of completion, to be sevened. That's Trump's number. If you look up, I'm not going there, but I don't do poly meaning many, tick meaning bloodsucker. But when he was elected, it was on the 7th. Remember, if you look, it was on the 7th month of the 7th day, and he was 70 years. There was something. Yep, the 7 chakras. Yep, the 7 churches, the 7 candlesticks. Gosh, 7 is such a powerful number. But hey, guys, I appreciate having you guys in this world. Having my body here, because I really don't find much phileo, much of affection for the things of this world. They're really quite cumbersome, and I'm really ready to return to the Father. He can throw me in hell, or let me wait and give me either an inheritance, or make me ruled in the new world. But I've been pressed, and so I'm ready to go at any day. But I guarantee I'll fight to the death and endure to the end, no matter how hard he makes it for me. Sometimes I want to give up. This flesh wants to give in, but I won't. I'll know that we reap what we sow. And cool. Outstanding. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up, guys, because I know you guys, some of you guys got to go, a couple of you guys, and I do appreciate it. Just want to tell you thanks so much for helping me out here and being here with me, guys, and part of this, because there aren't too many things that I connect with in this world. I'm such a weirdo, such an outcast, but it's a blessing having you guys to help me share this word in this world, because it's the only thing that seems familiar to me, that I can find any kind of rest in, that doesn't feel like a lie. This world feels like such a lie, and so that's why I find such comfort in his word, because I know it's true. He said, I am the reality, I am the truth. So it's where I find my salvation. It's where I find my rest, brothers and sisters, and I find it here with you. And I thank you so much for allowing me to share it with you, because I just don't have much else in this world it just doesn't do much for me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You've been there, son. You know what I'm saying? You've seen the struggle. You've been there. You've seen my struggles, how much I've fought for so long with this, fighting to get to this truth, to where I'm at today. And what a beautiful time to be here. And so you guys, everything I've ever researched in the 30 years, my son's almost 25 years, he got to be a witness. Everything I've ever researched was about this time. Everything I've ever researched in 30 years plus of researching, tirelessly, many hours sometimes, long into the nights, long into the mornings, was about this age and this time and this day that we're in, these exact days that we're in right now. Everything I've ever searched is pointed to these exact days. and weeks that we're in right now. So please enjoy them. This is such an amazing time. I have to remind myself, everything I ever pointed and every research pointed to this time, and we're here. We finally made it, man. We are here. We made it to the time that I always thought that was so far away. And now we're 3+ years into this revelation, into this apocalypse, into this, anew, out with the old and in with the New Testament. So here we are. And what a beautiful blessing it is to be a part of this time and space and age, if you will, because a witness to a passing of a celestial age is something that only happens every 2,000 years, So, whoa, how cool is that? And again, some of the stuff we've been a witness. So thank you for being a witness with me and let me tell you about my woes, because it's hard to like be in this flesh and see all these markers and just sit here alone and not scream it from the top of the lungs, Elijah, I'm living the dream, son. Look at this. Remember, my dad said, I'm going to scream from the top of the mountains. This word, remember, as loud as I could possibly scream, as far and as wide from the top of a member. I kept telling you, one day, son, I'm going to get to where I could be at the top of a mountain and I could just, his word will all that will come out of my mouth. I made it, son. I made it. I'm here. And that's even bigger than this is even bigger. Yeah. Well, no, I remember too. Yeah. And that same thing, that's the tree. So that's the tree of knowledge. That's not the same mountain, but that's going to come from the mountains, the fountains, the book of Enoch. Sorry, I'm tearing up here, but the mountains will be turned to fountains. But know that I will scream from the mountaintops is what I said, guys. And here I am, in this panopticon system, locked into this age and time, and where I can not only scream from the mountains, but at the whole wide world. This is even bigger than that, guys. What a beautiful message. What a beautiful, such higher than the mountains, so much broader and wider and farther than I ever would have imagined that this message is going now. So this is everything I've ever dreamed of. I apologize. I'm just kind of living in the moment right now. But that's all I ever really wanted to, guys. I told my son so many times that he heard me tell him this, that someday, son, I'm going to be able to get up on the mountaintops and I am going to scream God's word so loud that everybody, the whole world is going to hear me. And look at, here I am. Wow. Whoa. Thank you for being a part of it, brothers, sisters. Thank you, son, for being a part of it and you're supporting. And I love your dream too, because you know what that means. He's going to slam me back down and I'm going to finally be free of this knowledge that I can't seem to stop. I can't let it go. You know that. We talked about it. And so he's going to get it. He's going to shake it out of me. He's going to throw me back to this earth and I'm going to be done. And I'm finally going to be rested and I'm finally going to be free of this knowledge, brothers and sisters, that it kills me sometimes. It just kills me. It's such cumbersome. It's such a blessing to know these things, but it's such a burden too, to know what is to come, but here I am in that day, in that age, screaming from the mountaintops to the whole wide world. Wow. What a blessing. I didn't get shorted in this age, guys. I didn't get shorted in this flesh. He gave me riches beyond anything that I ever would have imagined. I feel like one of the luckiest men and one of the richest men on this planet right now. Thank you, Father, for this ministry and this blessing and this body, this aletheia, the truth. Thank you for these truths. It's these truths that set us free. You told us that's the truth that sets you free. Through your narrowing, through your suffering, through this fiery trials that you put us through. It's the suffering it's the refiner's fire, like iron, like silver, like clay, that hardens us and makes that beautiful masterpiece as he works that impurities out of us. those air pockets, those bubbles, those things that would make us crack when he puts us in that final fire, brothers and sisters. The judgment, when he's making his masterpiece. So let him beat you. Let him beat those impurities out of you. Let him beat those air pockets. Let him beat this world out of you. Because when he's done, he's creating you a masterpiece, brothers and sisters. You are his masterpiece. You must be as esteemed as the potter's clay, right? You must turn their works upside down. So let him beat you, okay? Let him beat you. And don't set your cross down, please. Don't set it down. He never gave you any commandments that said you can set it down. He said, who shall ever come after me? You have to deny yourself. As much as the struggle is, it's pain, brothers and sisters. I've been a veteran, and I'm telling you, I've had my body put through some extreme suffering. And I'll tell you what, he wants you to go through a lot more pain than that. You need to carry that cross every single day. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's tough. Sometimes you want to set it down, but don't set it down, brothers and sisters. He never said you could set it down. Not even one time. Can't set it down. Deny yourself. Take up your cross daily. And just keep following in his commandments, brothers and sisters. Walk and follow. 2 John and 6. Follow after me. Okay, so what a beautiful message that he's given us. His instructions are very clear. You should not have any confusion on what it is that he's asking you to do. He wants you to be pointed in the right direction, not going in the wrong direction like a foolish virgin. He needs to be your prize. And never forget, brothers and sisters, that he ain't coming to this earth. He is not coming to this earth. He will come to the new earth and the new heaven. He will be with us then, but not until then. We have to meet him. Meet him in the sky is where we meet him. So we must be girded, loins, faith, right? Believe. Adjective. We better have put some legs on that verb there, and better be more than just a thought in our head. He wants to find like shovels in the ground, like doing his service when he returns. That's what he means, girded in his service. So until Christ returns, brothers and sisters, Maranatha. The heavens declare the second coming of Christ over and over again. So I don't know what other sign you need to see to make you fall to your knees and make you feel like you've been given treasure that would fit in no shredder, right? Cheddar you can't fit in a dresser, right? That kind of treasure, brothers and sisters, something that you can't put in a safe, something he locks up inside of us because he's inside us, the true treasure, the true prize that we're supposed to be running towards, the one that's inside us that tells us to meet him in the sky. So get those shovels in the dirt, whatever it is that you need to be doing, and get your spiritual ship, your spiritual house, and your spiritual vessel in order. Tighten up those loose boards, brothers and sisters. Rocky, turbulent times, tough waves, seas, the waves will be roaring. It says in that book, correct? The nations will be in perplexity. So that has been my message. Thank you, Father, for giving me this message to declare it. I posted the video up on the channel, so it's up. So monetization is up on the channel. Thank you for the super chat there earlier in the last stream, Elijah. Appreciate that. And Ted, I gave that first super chat. Appreciate it, guys. Links in the description if you want to support the ministry. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next live stream. I got to get up and get to work tomorrow, start working on this shelter. I plan on everything that's on the surface of this plant, on this property that I own, being in another town, like in Bend or Prineville or Madras or down there in Klamath Falls. I mean, everything that I've been working on the top of this surface, I don't plan on being here, guys. I'm going to tinker with it and stuff, but I really don't think it'll be here. It'll either be pummeled by the sun or blown in another place. So shelter is my focus now. Shelter. You guys need to get to a place where you can get some dirt, something safe on top of your head, because the weather's going to dominate this planet very soon. Very soon. Nobody's going to care who the president is or about migrants or nothing. It's going to get to where, and I believe they'll take control of this earth way before then. So I hope you're where you want to be, because you're not getting out of that Broadway. You're not getting out of the big city lights. You will be stuck and caged in like an animal when this switch flips. One day they said, hey, blind 11, and they cut some 45s and said, let's do this, right? And our life has never been the same. Don't think that this isn't the first time the world has ended as we know it. So it's going to come again, brothers and sisters. They call it the poly crisis. Poly meaning many. So it's not going to stop. Just won't be a one-day thing like blind 11. It's going to be a continual birthing pains, sorrows. It will start out slower and increase in intensity, and labor will just get stronger and stronger and stronger. That's what you should expect, because that's what he told us is going to happen. So what are you sitting around and waiting for to do anything about? We already made it this 6th extinction event. We're already here. Now those that get ready are going to make it through this. Remember, I want to die, but I'm going to die trying to make it to be one of those few people. Again, they said if the grid went down in America in less than 2 years, 90% of the United States population would be gone. Are you going to be one of the 10% that's still here? Are you? Are you doing anything to try? I don't even want to be here. I wanted to die. I already been way worth one. I could die and been given way too much already. I don't deserve to be here any more days. I was already given more treasure than I deserve. But I'm going to die trying, brothers and sisters, if he keeps me here for another 50 years. You understand? So please, again, think about where we're at. We're in an extinction event. You want to be one of the people who survives this event, then you'll probably be doing something about it. You won't be sitting around and twiddling your thumbs and playing World of Warcraft all day and worried about football or whatever. Have some entertainment, watch a little football, play a little video games, have a beer, have some moderate with things. But I hope that 98% of what you're doing is like, there's nobody else that talking about that weather. That Tracy guy keeps telling us all that other stuff. Boy, sure putting a lot of evidence to support his hailstones, sun, blisters, men's hearts failing him, this water coming up onto the land. Well, man, I give this guy some validity. He seems like he keeps bringing it back to the word. So I hope you're doing something about it, because I know that I want to be a living testament. And I want to be that lighthouse. I want to be that lighthouse in this dark place, that beacon of light where people have lost their way, navigation. They don't know which way they're headed. So go be that beacon of light in this dark place, brothers and sisters. Don't shine above the others. You don't like that. That's pride. But definitely he wants to find your lamps burning bright when he returns. All right. Always agape.